One more thing. What if, hear me out, the Dallas Mavericks are gifted Cooper Flagg in the NBA draft? How would it change everything? We'll tell you on today's Locked On Mavs. One more thing.
I'm here because I have to.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about Flagg.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah, you're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member, NBA channel manager, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. One more thing. What if the Dallas Mavericks get Cooper Flagg in the draft? They have a 1% chance to potentially get him. And Isaac Harris. What would happen to the Dallas Mavericks?
I mean, make it happen. Make it happen, Adam. Well, one, you'd have to miss the play-in. So in order to have a chance at that. But no, I mean, yeah, if you land at number one, and let's just assume that Nico doesn't try to get fancy again and just takes Cooper Flagg. Like, this guy is, I mean, he's one of the best college players I've ever seen. I honestly don't think he like compares to like Zion at Duke.
He's just better.
I think he's so much better. Zion had, the unbelievable vertical and some of the crazy fast break stuff, but I just haven't seen a prospect impact games like he does defensively. He's so tall. To where, like, whoever gets him, this is your centerpiece moving forward. Like Washington, in most of these teams, like Washington gets him, he's the number one guy moving forward. Like, doesn't matter Alex Sarr or whoever you have, like, he is the centerpiece. And for Dallas to get him, man, like, then you really are like bridging he is a win now player. He is going to impact, like, if he went to a good team, if somebody did jump up that high, like a Dallas or somebody else that's a win now team, he would contribute to win now basketball. And for Dallas, like, I mean, they want size. I mean, you would just immediately look at a PJ and say, like, we're going to turn PJ into Cooper Flagg. Like, I mean, and you turn him into such a young stud of a prospect like Flagg that you're going to move forward with. And now you're looking at 2 6'10" guys and Lively, Cooper Flagg. You have a Max Christie there, and all of a sudden you have these three like, while still having a Kyrie and AD and all this stuff. I think, I mean, it would be kind of unreal at that point if they did get him.
We'll do a whole draft profile on all these guys at the top, especially before the lottery, before we know where the Mavericks are actually going to be. But Cooper Flagg, 6'9", 7'1" wingspan. He, just the one sentence from Rafael Barlowe, NBA Big Board. Flagg brings a combination of skill, versatility, and explosive athleticism that fills arenas. He can handle the ball, operate out of the high post, gifted playmaker. But where on the defensive end is where Flagg is special. He is the most dominant high school defender I've ever scouted and epitomizes a game changer on the defensive end. Like, that's him. Elite rim protection, can do stuff on offense, has become a better playmaker and a better, scorer. But man, he would just change their world. And you start to think about that archetype of a player, a generational player like that. And like, him and Anthony Davis would make the perfect front court when Anthony Davis does move to the 5. So then all of a sudden you have an incredible lineup there that would change so much. And like you said, you could kind of straddle the line of, all right, we're gonna win now because Flagg could win now, but we're also going to build for the future because a Flagg Lively front court going forward, even after Anthony Davis starts to decline eventually, like that lineup will be good for a decade or 15 years for the Mavs.
Yeah, until
no hope.
I mean, defensively, I mean, to be able to put out a lineup that big would just be insane. And his help side stuff is just insane. It's wild when you look at him and Ace Bailey of Rutgers is a guy that's going to go top 5 in the draft. But both of them are 6'9", 6'10". Both of them can score the basketball. Ace Bailey's an incredible like offensive guy who hits some of the craziest shots for a college basketball player. But man, what a difference in both the two prospects on the defensive side, how you impact a game, if your shot's not falling, all the stuff like that's the stuff. I mean, there's a reason why Cooper Flagg was invited to the USA minicamp, over the summer and stuff too. I mean, he's out there. He was the only one, and he's out there going against the best American players in the world and stuff leading up to the Olympics and stuff. So everybody realizes how good he's going to be. He's going to be a stud, and from day one. Yeah,
a lively AD Flagg front court is insane. It would have its issues that you'd have to figure out offensively, I think, in a way, but defensively, just the three of those guys together. You mentioned the help from him, but they would also have the help from Anthony Davis too. Like that would be so game changing. The Mavs would have the best defense in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean,
with just those three guys.
And that's where, it's so hard to like say these things now because of the stupid Luka trade, but it's like, that's the type of move to where like in a normal front office that it just changes your whole direction of like what you're going to do. Immediately it becomes, hey, we're going to build around Cooper Flagg instead of, all right, we're going to build around the 30-year-olds, type of guys. But you can't say that with certain, I want to say, this is a type of player that if your GM is debating on it of like, oh man, we might trade this pick or take somebody else or something like that, then you fire the GM. But then again, you don't trade generational stars either.
But if they do get the chance and they do get the 1% odds, something happens, the Mavs, there's a frozen envelope or a frozen ping pong ball or whatever needs to happen for the Mavs to get paid back in some way if they had to give up Luka for the league and all that. Cooper Flagg would be absolutely wild. I'm curious, though, if Nico would consider trading it, like you mentioned. You've kind of touched on it. We've kind of danced around it here. But coming up, would Nico even think about trading it, and what would they get and what would happen? We'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks daily fantasy made easy. Go check out Prize Picks because there's so much stuff. Basketball is heating up. There's no better way to get on the action with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you just pick more or less on at least one or at least two player projections and a shot for up to 1,000 times your cash. It's easy to use, available in over 30 states. Lets you mix and match projections across different sports. It's even available in Texas, so you can play it here, which is absolutely awesome. You could build lineups. You could pick different players from across different sports and say, all right, I'm going to pick if you decided to pick more points for Obi Toppin the other day when he scored 34 points, then that was an incredible play from you. If you decided to pick more for Quentin Grimes, maybe that was your happiness hedge where you're like, hey, the Mavs don't have him, but at least I can pick more on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly if you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly if you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Also brought to you by Hungry Root. There's so many things to do. Mavs are still playing basketball games. We're talking about draft stuff. There's work to do. There's all kinds of things. And you probably have a busy life with all kinds of things and meetings too. You don't have time to go to the grocery store, figure out what you need to eat and all that kind of stuff. Stick to your healthy goals. Hungry Root is a game changer. It's like having a personal shopper and nutritionist all in one, taking care of grocery shopping, recommending meals and groceries based on my tastes and health goals. And everything is available and ready in 15 minutes or less. That you can put it together. Awesome. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as we do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box and a free item in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA. Use that code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA. Don't miss out.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's great. It's great, dude. Dude, it's great. It's great. It's great, broski.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the One More Thing. It's a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We're talking about the hypothetical scenario. It's a 1% chance, so you're saying there's a chance, right? You're just saying there's a chance that the Dallas Mavericks could get Cooper Flagg, and if they do, it would completely change their world. But let's say that Nico Harrison decides, all right, well, we want to win now, and we could get a lot for Cooper Flagg. Is there any scenario where Nico even thinks about trading it down for, let's say, win now pieces, or just trading down for a better fit in like a Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey?
He shouldn't. No, I don't think you entertain it. if you're looking at players across the league, I just don't. You look at like OKC, and yeah, of course, if you get SGA, then sure, you get SGA. But like, I take him over Chet. Like, if they're straight up like, hey, Chet and it's like, no, I take Cooper Flagg. There's a lot of young players like that across the league that I'm like, yeah, I think I would just rather take Cooper Flagg like right now, considering the contract, age, and like his upside and everything.
He's going to be 18 and a half at the time of the draft.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you could start doing the hypotheticals at that point of like, all right, what if OKC offers you 1 million draft picks, Chet, and Case and Wallace? It's like stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, think about it, something like that. If they wanted to form a Cooper Flagg, SGA, Jalen Williams big three or something like that. And, there's some scenario. That's the only type of scenarios maybe you're like thinking about it at that point. You're getting 1 to 2 good young players and some draft picks attached. So, but no, you get the first pick. Any team out there, you just need to take Cooper Flagg and be done with it.
You just take it, and you're just like, all right, this is it. Would it change the direction? Because we kind of touched on that earlier. Would the Mavs all of a sudden have to just start building around Cooper Flagg, or would they try to do the Warriors the last couple of years tried to do all right, we got Steph and Clay and Draymond. We also are going to try with Wiseman and Kuminga and Moody and try to to ride both lines path.
That one's hard to answer just because you don't control all your draft picks. I think
the
if you control, if they controlled all their draft picks moving forward, then you could make the case and kind of restart that timeline and like, all right, let's add some more young pieces.
But you also have Kyrie and AD that you could maybe trade for some of those young pieces. Like you have, and you have vets and PJ and Clay and maybe some guys you'd be like, all right, we don't have the draft capital, but we do have like talent and player capital that we could send some of these win now teams right now that could also set you up.
I think if I probably wouldn't change my timeline a ton because he's such a win now player. I think it would just shift a little bit of how aggressive I would be this summer. I think I would look at like if they did get a Cooper Flagg and it's like, all right, we already have AD under contract, Lively, a bunch of these guys. Let's go ahead and bring Kyrie back. But then like at that point, you're starting to try to shift to find some other like, perimeter guys or, you're shifting like what you need, but like if you get Cooper Flagg, I don't think there's a scenario in which you try to go out and get KD at that point. Which some people are out on that already.
Me.
So yeah, and it's just like, all right, then that's the ultimate ride the middle right there with Flagg, Lively, Christie, alongside AD, Kyrie, PJ, and some of these guys. Like, that's pretty cool.
I started when we decided to talk about this today, I started to think about, is getting Cooper Flagg the only thing that could like give Mavs fans hope? Maybe not the only thing, but is it the one true, like that Snow White movie is coming out, like True Love's Kiss, is it the only True Love's Kiss that could actually give Mavs fans hope that could turn the tide of some of their frustrations right now?
I think the biggest number of Mavs fans, yes, because he is so well known. I mean, he's been a prospect that people have known for before Duke days and all that. So I think because of the notoriety around him, yes, I think it should be kind of the same way with like a Dylan Harper, because he's really good. I love VJ Edgecombe. I love Ace Bailey, I love some of those guys that Trey Johnson, like if they landed top, they could only land, they're in the top 3, but it's like, if they landed up through there and got any of those guys, I mean, that's massive for this franchise. There's still gonna be a lot of hurt. But if you get Cooper Flagg, I think if we're like, hey, what's the one thing that bring the most hope to the most fans? I think it Cooper Flagg's probably the only answer, because even if they go out this summer, let's say, they don't move up in the draft and they have, the 14th overall pick and they go out this summer and they trade for Kevin Durant. Even if they do bring Kevin Durant in and re-sign Kyrie and it's a banner on the side of the AAC with Durant, AD, and Kyrie on it, I think a lot of fans, don't be kidding yourselves. The open night's going to be crazy. The arena is going to be like full of fans.
Yeah.
And stuff. If KD's dressing for the Mavs, and they got all these guys in their win now team, if they go on and run all this stuff. But as far as like hope for the future, I think Cooper Flagg is the only thing that really brings that right now. Or you could get AJ in next year's draft.
There'd just be so much hype around that pick and around him coming to Dallas and about how good he is. And I think that hype would eventually usher Mavs fans back into that love of the team and hope for the team. And I do think that this is the one thing that could bring Mavs fans like a ton of hope. It would also really fuel some of the conspiracy things that the Mavs sent Luka to LA. And so then they're going to get gifted a generational prospect in some other way, because it's only a 1% chance. But yeah, I think that it's a really interesting what if right now. It's a hypothetical. We talked to Rafael Barlowe of Locked On NBA Big Board today on the show, but we also asked him this question. And so let's end here and throw to him and see what he thinks about Cooper Flagg with the Mavericks and how it would change everything.
Go talk about the Duke player.
Cooper Flagg is the number one.
Yep.
Guaranteed. Nobody else is going to even touch him in this whole process.
He is the absolute number one pick by far. But I like Dylan Harper, though. I like Dylan Harper a lot, though.
Mavs get the NBA decides to gift the Mavs the number one pick after they decided to, conspiracy theory, stole Luka and sent him to LA, right? There's a whole conspiracy. So they get the number one pick, let's say. Yep. How does Cooper Flagg change their world?
Changes PJ Washington's world, for sure.
Okay, put him to the side. He's probably traded for Kevin Durant. Okay, so how does Cooper Flagg change the Mavs?
Well, he gives them hope. Some of those season ticket renewals may change. He provides, athleticism, defense. Hope is the main thing that he would provide, because, you guys know, you guys have talked about it, at length. He's the one that probably can re-excite the fan base, right? Just right off the top without playing a game. But again, athleticism, defense, the guy has improved every year since I first saw him play. He's actually been better than I thought. I knew he was going to be good. I had him at number one, but he's been better than I thought as far as being a shooter and a ball handler and a scorer. But yeah, it kind of creates a log jam. I don't know if it's the best fit for him, but if you have him, you got to find a way to play him. AD would probably have to go back to playing a lot of the five.
We've heard a lot about his natural position since he's joined the Dallas Mavericks.
Hey, wouldn't that be the most Nico thing ever? Is guys, hey, we love AD. This is why we went and got him. He's the 4. So we're going Dylan Harper.
It fits.
Yeah.
It definitely fits. I think him and Kyrie both are from Jersey. It would be gutsy. We know that he will make some gutsy moves, but I think he probably have to go the safest pick in that situation.
Nico passing on Cooper Flagg would be the ultimate cherry on top.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That would be hilarious.
No, it would not.
And I think Pitt would like him too, point guard. So that makes the most sense with AD, if AD and Lively are your cornerstones in the front court. But maybe Cooper can play the 3. I think he's more of a 4, but it won't happen. I shouldn't say never. I didn't think
I was gonna say, nothing's ever now.
Never know.